Gotcha. What else? He moved closer. I could feel his minty breath against my face. I'd like a diamond ring. Not just any old diamond, mind, but one the size of an ice cube. And I'd show it to everyone from school and on the estate who has ever laughed at me or made me feel like I was nothing. I felt his lips graze my neck and a shiver of joy travelled down my spine. And I want to lie on a tropical beach and feel the soft powdery sand slip through my fingers and the hot sun on my face. This was the wish of a girl who had rarely left the postcode of her childhood. So, not Southend. He kissed me again. I opened my eyes and turned to face him. No, not Southend. Are you done? He asked, as his hand travelled up under my nightdress and rested on the flat of my stomach. Nearly. I placed my hand on top of his. I want to dance with you in the rain, wearing a lovely dress, and I want it to be a proper dance, like a waltz, old-fashioned and romantic. He rolled over then until he was lying on top of me, resting on his forearms. He smoothed the hair from my forehead and kissed me gently on the mouth. Then a dance in the rain you shall have. He covered my chest and neck with tiny kisses, making my heart beat faster. And what about you? I managed. What would you want if you could have anything and everything was possible? His expression was suddenly solemn. He looked into my eyes and spoke in a soft voice. I want us to live in the countryside, just like we've always wanted. And I reckon if we lived somewhere nice, everything else would fall into place. I nodded agreement against his shoulder. The countryside was our dream. He wasn't finished. And I want to give you everything that you've asked for. That'd be enough for me, to make you happy. That's a world I'd like to live in. Well, congratulations, I beamed. You do make me happy, so maybe we've arrived there already. I laughed and wiggled down the bed with my arms wrapped around him. There is one more thing, I added softly into his ear. He paused his kissing and gave a small sigh. You're sure it's the last? I nodded. I'd like to know who my dad is. I'd felt the absence of this special man on this, my wedding day. Unexpectedly, a tear found its way to the surface and trickled down my cheek, which he kissed away. Don't be sad, he whispered. Not tonight. I sniffed and smiled. He pulled the duvet over our heads, and it felt like we were in our own little bubble, sheltered from the world, like no one could get to us, and we were safe. And I remember thinking, if I get to feel like this every night of my life, lying in bed with the man I love, knowing that nothing can touch us, then we have arrived at that place. We really have. And I was right. Chapter 1. Bye, Granny Claudia! Peg waved her hand over her head, ensuring her farewell would be drawn out until the last possible moment, and watched as Granny Claudia got smaller and smaller in the rear window. I've had the best Christmas ever! These were the words they wanted to hear from their daughter every year. Peg settled back on her booster seat with her baby brother, Max, dozing in his seat by her side. Poppy smiled at her husband as he turned the car out of Clanfield, the Oxford village where they had spent the festive holiday in the dear company of the mother of their late friend Miles. Gracious and well-educated, Claudia was a surrogate grandma for the children and a welcome voice of guidance for Poppy, and she relished the role. Her only son, Miles, a journalist, had been killed by a car bomb some years earlier, and she had been widowed for a long time now. Poppy closed her eyes and pictured the Christmas day just past, a golden turkey with all the trimmings, A brisk walk with...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.